Hey guys, I'm Ivy and today we're gonna talk about Avatar. So before I get into today's video, I just want to say one thing or mention one thing is that how many times have I seen this edit on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or like any social media platform? Like this edit of Jake Sully, also Varang, has been going around for weeks. Not complaining about it, I saved it. Praise to the person that made it. Yeah, also the people recreating Varang's walk. But it's also like Avatar on social media. I've never seen like with the second movie, I don't feel like that Avatar got that much praise on social media. Like people didn't really talk about it on social media. It didn't have like a fandom on social media. But now it's a lot more. People cosplaying as Na'vis and people just talking about Avatar and people wanting more. Which I find also a bit funny is that people are wanting more from the Avatar series, but then also on the other side there are people like the critics are a bit bad. So I'm just like, in my opinion, I want a lot more of these films. I just hope that they will be more than 5. James Cameron, I want more. Please make more. I don't want these movies to stop. Also one thing I have to say before I get into criticizing the series is that I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw someone mention like, oh, which Avatar character are you based on your zodiac sign? I'm a Pisces, by the way. And that person said Jake Sully. I was just like, yes, I will take that. Apparently, I'm Jake Sully. Yeah. But enough talking and let's start getting into criticizing the series. Just to get out of the way, make a simple answer. Is Avatar 3 bad? Simple answer, no, it's not bad. I do understand why people do not find it like their cup of tea of like it's not their type of movie. I do see that, but in my opinion, no, it's not bad. There is another movie out there that I would say that is bad and that I went and saw it and I feel like I wasted my money on it. But Avatar 3, no. It's a long movie, so I do understand that people are like a bit skeptical about seeing it in theaters. I went and saw it in 3D. I'm not sure, like I remember when it started, it felt a bit video game-like, so I'm not sure if the movie is, like if I have this feeling just because it was in 3D, but I want to see it again just in a normal TV setting. Also want to let you guys know that it's been some time, like I think like a week or week and a half since I saw the third movie, so I might get some things wrong. Then the second question is, what made the first movie so good that the other movies are not getting? Let's talk about that. In my opinion, after seeing the third Avatar movie, also watching the second movie again, I felt like with the first movie, we get to see everything about Pandora through Jake's eyes. And also I feel like in the first movie, there were a lot more risks and there was a lot more understanding of everything. Okay, in the beginning, Jake is paralyzed from like his waist down. He relies on a wheelchair and he can't move anywhere without it. So when he gets to connect with his avatar body, he gets to move normal again and he gets to do things that he probably did when he was in the military. So seeing him connect to himself that way, it's very fun to see. And also seeing someone learning something new, like a new culture and stuff like that, was very fun to see as well. We get that in the second movie, but I'll get later to that. So I feel like the risks and all of that in the first movie were a lot higher, and I feel like the emotional connection to everything, like I don't know, I feel like I felt a lot more emotionally connected to everything in the first movie. For example, in the first movie we have the taking down of the mother tree, and then in the second movie we get a very similar scene with the Tulkun, and I feel like the taking down of the mother tree was a lot more, oh my god, I cry over that scene. But with the Tulkun, I felt very sad because I'm very connected to animals. I felt very like, no, a whale is dying. But with the taking down of Mother Tree, it's like you got people there. There are people who are gonna save their pets and their dragons, their ikran. And also they were tear gassing people. And then they were shooting at people. So the risk of just seeing people dying. Then also when the Mother Tree falls down, I'm just thinking to myself, people are gonna end underneath that humongous tree. So you know that a lot of people died just being crushed by that tree, and also just hearing the screams of people in their last moment before they end up underneath that tree. you just can't imagine if something big like that was falling on top of you. Yeah, you can really put yourself into that situation. But with the Tulkun is that we kind of get to see it from the bad guy's perspective. I feel like in the Avatar, like in the first movie, you get to see it from both people's perspective. You get to see it from the bad guy's perspective and also from the Na'vis. In the second movie, you get like the view of the bad guys, and it's kind of, you felt more sick than like sad. You just felt like, why are we killing these creatures? Like, you were just like, I just felt like, no, why are we doing that? I just felt sick because we didn't have like the good guys fighting the bad guys. We were seeing it through the eyes of the bad guys. Comparing those scenes, it's like, damn. But another scene that I would like to compare that's in all of the three movies is Jake fighting with Quaritch. I feel like in the first movie, we really get to know how the relationship between Quaritch and Jake is. We get to know that Quaritch is kind of like his boss, but not really. He's like his sergeant, but not officially. Quaritch decides to use Jake as his like puppet because he's a Marine, he's a former Marine, and he's like, it would be nice having a guy on the inside who could like talk to the Na'vis and get to know the enemy. For me, it's like in the first movie, we get to see how Jake starts with like, he wants to be on Quaritch's side, he wants to have good connection with him, and then going into being a bit like, he doesn't want to betray Quaritch, but he also doesn't want to betray the Na'vi people, into going full on like, no, I am fighting for the Na'vi people. What these guys are doing is terrible. So when they're fighting in the first movie, it's epic. And in the second movie, I'm not gonna say the fight scene was bad. As a stunt performer, I want to recreate all of the fight scenes in Avatar. So just to get that out of the way. But in the second movie, like when Jake was fighting Quaritch, I was just like, can we just, let's just kill him. Let's just get him out of the way. Let's just get it over with. But I did not feel like the fight scene was the same, because like the thing with the fight scene in the first movie, it was like you had a Na'vi avatar guy fighting a machine. It was interesting to see. It was a very interesting fight scene. But in the second movie, we get a Na'vi fighting another Na'vi. So it's like a normal fight scene. It felt very amazing. Also, I loved when they put in like the panic of people drowning. That was a good add-on as well. But then came the third movie, and I was a bit disappointed that they still decided to end the movie with Jake fighting Quaritch. But just want to say that it felt very how that fight ended. It's Quaritch is a very funny guy. Like, I love that in the first movie, Quaritch is like, he has no soul. He is just like this full-on macho, masculine, military guy. Like in the second movie, he's like, he has like a father figure to him. It's like, oh, he's a dad of Spider, but it's like, we don't really care. But then in the third movie, it's like he would rather save Spider than seeing him die. So it's like he becomes more human, and like he's going through the same process that Jake went through in the first movie, that I really love seeing that Quaritch is kind of becoming like a comedic character. That thing, like, it gets a bit tiring, but still not gonna say the fight scenes were bad. I really do enjoy them, but I would like, for me, how I would have liked to see the movie, like the third movie end, is when like all of them kind of just give up. Like they've seen that the Sky people have won. I would have loved that the movie just ended there, that the Na'vi people lost, and then by the fourth movie that we would start in that situation. But no, we did not get that. I feel like the ending of the third movie is exactly the same as the ending of the second movie, which I was hoping for something a bit more, but no. The thing with the first movie is that you get the entire story on its own, like you get everything in one. But with the second and the third movie, they're making the story a lot longer. Like you are gonna get the first movie in 4 other films. So yeah, another thing like that I didn't realize in the second movie was that Kiri, she's always acted by the actress who plays Grace. But I noticed in the second movie that she has, in the beginning, she has another voice, that she has a voice of a kid. Why didn't they make Kiri's voice a bit younger? It's a bit weird to me seeing that Kiri has the exact same voice as Grace, but also explained in the third movie that she is a clone of Grace, so it's like, okay, makes a bit sense. And also like people are saying like Kiri doesn't really act like a 14-year-old, and I'm like, I grew up with many different types of people, and I had this one friend that she was very mature for her age, and I feel like Kiri is one of those characters that like she still acts like a kid, but then she talks like an adult and thinks like an adult. And also like I feel like also like she knows there's something wrong with her and she feels a bit weird. And me as a person who deals with epilepsy, and I had to deal with that since I was 13, I know how it feels. Like you feel like something is wrong with you. So seeing Kiri, like I feel like, I know people often say like, no, she just something is wrong. There's something, I don't like her. But I'm like, for me, she's a very interesting character, and I feel like when your mom is gone and you don't know who your parents are, and then you realize that you don't have a dad and that you're a clone of your mom, and you're just like, what the hell is wrong with me? I feel like with Kiri, she's an interesting character, but I also feel like if you haven't gone through something that like a sickness that not everyone has, Tourette's or epilepsy, or someone who's suffering with migraines, or people that have bipolar disorder or stuff like that, that if you don't have something that not everyone is gonna understand, you won't really connect with Kiri, and you will find her pretty weird. But in my experience, I feel like I can connect to her a bit. She's just different. People have also said to me that Neytiri isn't the same anymore. They're like, she's not as badass as she was. Like she's just there. In the first movie, she was so happy. Like she had a smile on her face always. Like, but she would also be a bit like, come on, Jake. By the third movie, she's so mad all of the time. But it's like also it makes sense. In the first movie, like there wasn't a war. There wasn't really anything there. But then Jake came along and just everything goes to I cannot imagine being someone like your life was so normal and then you have to flee your own home and then you have to adapt to something else, and then like you don't have anyone with you, like you don't have anything that's yours. Of course you're gonna get depressed, and of course she's gonna feel like she's not connected to anything. Because for me, it would be weirder if she was like the person from the first movie. And also like in the first movie, it's just her fighting for her people, but now she's fighting for her family. People are like, oh, she's softer now. I'm like, no, she's not. Like in the second movie, in the end of the second movie, I got scared of her. She's still grieving for the loss of her son and feeling like she doesn't have anybody. And also there's one thing that I've been like hesitated about talking about, is that Loak and Tesserae. Okay, for me Loak is a very interesting character as well. Like for me, I thought he was a bit annoying in the beginning. I was just like, but then I was also thinking, oh, he's a kid. He as a character really shows that it is okay to be alone, and it is okay to not have many friends. It is okay to just be by yourself. He really shows, like in the second movie, if you try to force yourself into a friend group, it's just gonna get worse. And if you just let the flow, just go with the flow, you end up with the people you're supposed to be. And it's also seeing that Loak, he really blames himself for the death of his brother. So like now he's getting the responsibility that his brother had, and then he's like, oh my god, what do I do? Like I have to take care of my siblings, I have to take care of my friends, I have to take care of my dad. And also like the scene in the beginning of the third movie, we get to see that Loak is in his last moments with his brother, and he really blames himself for the death of his brother. And then when his dad, oh, this scene hurts so bad. When Jake blames Loak for the death of Nateam, god damn. that hurt. Like, and also like like I just want to praise the actor, but the reaction, him like, did my dad really say that? And then him trying to like be like, no, it's not my fault. Oh, that hurt. I really felt for Loak. And also on the conversation of Loak is that I thought it was also very interesting with the third movie that we don't have the perspective of Jake. We get the perspective of Loak. And I thought that was very interesting because Loak in the second movie, we got to know him, but he was kind of like, yeah, he was Jake's son. He was cool. We got to know him a little by little, but we didn't really get to know him. But in this third movie, we really got to know him and how he thinks. And we got this really cutesy scene of him and Tesserae. I'm just hoping that we get more of that. Just like he has this one person that's like for him, like him and Tesserae, like they are the cutest thing ever. Yeah, and also like that Loak, he's the same character as Jake. I feel like it's with me and my mom. With my parents, I'm a lot like both of them. So like when I do something, they're like, are you kidding me, Ivy? Did you just do that? And I feel like with Jake and Loak, they're like father and son. Like Jake is like, what are you doing? And thinking to himself, I used to do that as well. Loak is exactly like his dad, and it's, oh, I love it. There's one thing with the third movie that I feel like I wanted more of Loak than what we got. I love that they made things more complicated with Spider. Like I feel like the relationship between Jake and Quaritch, got to know more about their relationship just because they both love Spider, and it was just like that thing I thought was very interesting as well. And also, okay, I haven't talked anything about Varang. Oh my god, her clan, she's a fucking psycho, but not in a way like she's not like just a loose cannon, like she's just not gonna go and kill everybody. Like I feel like Varang is like Jinx in a way, but Jinx is a loose cannon, but that's her character. But Varang is like, oof. I have a theory about her clan that the Sky People, when they arrived for the first time, they destroyed her land, and that's why Eywa wasn't able to save them, because the Sky People had already killed them. That's my theory, that the fire was from the Sky People. But I do really like seeing like they took the plot of what if there were Na'vis that don't believe in the spirits. That thing felt very interesting, and it also shows like, because this thing happens in real life too, it's like I've gone through so much shit and I want you to go through the same that I've been through. And Varang really is the embodiment of that. It's like, no, Eywa isn't always gonna save you. She didn't save me. She just becomes the embodiment of fire, and it's just like when she's cutting her clay, it felt very satanic. It felt very like, damn, like they are some crazy people. I saw an interview with James Cameron that he wanted with the clan of Varang to see like, it's not just like, oh, team blue people and team humans. You are gonna be like, no, the bad guys and good guys. It doesn't matter like if they are Na'vis or Sky People, because there are Sky People there as well that are team Na'vis. But then there are Na'vis that are against Na'vi, and they would like to help the humans because they get guns, they get fire, they get everything. So for me that was interesting as well. And also when I saw this interview with James Cameron, I was just like, him explaining everything about like his theory and vision of everything is like, because I did remember thinking in the film like Jake and Neytiri they're not a perfect couple. Like Jake is acting in a way like he's saying everything wrong, and Neytiri really just needs like a hug. She just wants to express herself, and Jake isn't helping. And like when James Cameron said like that's what he wanted, like they're not perfect. He wants them to be this imperfect couple, but they're still willing to fight for what they have. I thought that they would have to get like a divorce or break up. I'm not sure how it works in Pandora, like if that's legal. It was an interesting thing that James Cameron made them willingly a bad couple. I found that very interesting. Like if we compare Elizabeth Swann and Will Turner like together, like yeah, they are super in love. They feel like the perfect couple. With Jake and Neytiri, it's like there was a moment like if my boyfriend and I if we had our kid together or cat together and it died, and I would grieve in a different way in him, and we would start to fight. Like I was just like, I would not want this. Like who wants this? But all humans are like this. And it's like seeing just that like how much thought goes into these movies is incredible. Like just watching them is insane. Before I stop talking about Avatar, there was one scene, there was like, I think it was the first fight scene, like a battle scene. I think it was the Fire and Ash people against the Na'vis. It's when, oh my god, I was just like, oh my god, this is no. Is when I think it was Jake that takes like a Jack Sparrow Will Turner down, like it's like a sail, but it's an animal, and it's just like oh my god, you're just killing something right now. But it looks like a ship. And then also when the Ikran of Loak dies, that was the saddest thing ever. That entire battle scene, I was just like, oh my god. And also the return of Turuk, the last shadow, it looked scary. It looked scary as hell. I was just like, damn, I don't want to see this anymore. It's turning into a horror film. The thing I love about James Cameron is that, I think it's one of the reasons I really like him, is that he's a very spiritual person, and he really thinks about psychiatry, and he really thinks about like how things are gonna affect you and stuff like that. It's not just action. He's like, if this would happen to this type of person, how would they react? I love it. I would love to work with him one day. That would be a dream. If this video answered your question about Avatar, let me know in the comments down below as well what you thought of the new Avatar Fire and Ash movie. I loved it. I'm really excited for the fourth one. I was a bit scared that I would get bored of it, but no. Actually, my theory was correct that I thought with the second movie there was a lot of like introducing, so we got to know more about Pandora, and there will be a lot more action in the third one. That was my prediction, and I got that correct. There weren't that much like introducing new animals. We got to see a lot more animals, but we didn't like get to know them. I'm sorry that like all of my videos, they're all very messy. I just talk. These were just all my opinions about the Avatar movie, just me going on and talking about it. I probably missed a lot of points that I wanted to say, but shout out to Tuk. I forgot to mention her. And also I didn't talk a lot about Spider, even though they're both amazing characters. And okay, pause. I know I was gonna end this video, but there was one thing that I would have loved to see. Maybe they're gonna do it as well, but when Spider was accepted by the Na'vi people and that he got accepted by the spirit tree, it felt very beautiful. I love that scene in the first movie. I always cry over that scene. I want to see that scene with Loak. I feel like he's more of an outcast than Spider, like mentally, because Spider always got Kiri, like he always feels like he's part of the family, but Loak, he's just there, always an outsider. So yeah, there are so many things I could say about this movie, but I'm not gonna do that. There's so many more points that I would like to talk about, but that would make this video like an hour long or something like that. I'm not sure how long it's gonna be, but I know it's gonna be long. So yeah, but let me know in the comments down below what you thought about the new Avatar movie and what your thoughts are about the Avatar series, and if you like it or not. If you want more videos of me, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like this video. Also, for the guys who want to see more of me somewhere else, not on YouTube, I'm on Instagram and TikTok. I post about my stunt life on there, and yeah, that's about it. And I'll just see you guys next time. Bye!